Good day, folks. Welcome to this section where we start talking about what are the current issues in organizational behavior. And COVID-19 and its impact on the workforce is huge. What we have, things are changing. We're adapting, and adaptation is the process or the state of adjusting or changing to become more suited to the environment. Okay? And normally, if you would look at how change happens, you start with defining the change. Why do you need to change? What's the change and assess the environment? What's the impact on people, process, and technology? This is all influenced by those megatrends and the economy and policy. Then what you do is once you identify this, you have to communicate it and implement it. A two-way process. Embedded in the culture. Okay? What do you got to change in systems and process? How do you reinforce, model, reward new behaviors? How do we measure ongoing improvements? Then how do we prepare individuals? New skills, behaviors, redesign jobs, roles, structures, development, implement training. All this is though this change plan is communication, engagement, training, support, metrics, transition. But this is happening at a speed that we have never seen before. And that's why I think this course, for both you and I, will be engaging, but it'll also be a fascination learning while we're going. So I think we're going to be looking at things from the employee's perspective. With their safety, we still have fear. The need to generate income, we have to do that. Job security, we're looking for some. Work process changes. Do employees have the skills to do this? How, when we eliminate the social aspect of work and the benefits of that, when we're in this hybrid or remote is an issue, because work is social. How do we adapt to working remotely? Childcare becomes an issue. Trauma, PTSD, I'm sure you've seen that or experienced it yourself. From the employer perspective, we want to have safety for employees and customers. We're worried about physical and behavioral health. They're both related. What's the liability of a firm for safety? How do we design the workplace of tomorrow? Or is it already here? How do we facilitate teamwork? How do we change work practices to make them more efficient with less people? How do we build the skills of employees? How do we prepare for another round of remote working? We don't know. Will there be customers for our products and services? How do we determine who to keep and who to eliminate in a slow recovery? So we're going to look at the work environment itself. We have to stop assuming that old ways will come back. They won't. They're gone. We got to start thinking how to organize work for a distributed workforce. How do we accelerate best practices around collaboration, flexibility, inclusion, and accountability? We got to stop relying on traditional organizational structures. Some did well, but a lot did not. So start looking at practices that speed up decision making in execution during the crisis. Speed is everything. How do we accelerate the transition to being agile? How do we redesign the supply chain to optimize resilience and speed? How do we accelerate nearshoring and the use of advanced technologies? How do we stay focused on leadership and working with partners to create a better future? How do we accelerate the reallocation of resources and infrastructure investment? We're going to take a look at some of these issues facing us today using current events discussion as we talked about. But remember, a lot of this isn't in the text, so this is where it's exploring, it's growing. And we're going to take a look at some of these issues because they're relevant to you and I today and tomorrow. We're going to take a look at in-person, hybrid and remote, a look at recruiting, onboarding and training, behavioral health and burnout, purposeful work and a purposeful life, valuable. How do you balance? Happy work, the great resignation. So these are some of the issues that we are going to be working for. In the next page, you're going to see a video called Work Today and Tomorrow. Please watch that one.